Russian Z blogger Walk and Talk, who has over 800,000 subscribers on the YouTube platform, provided serious assistance to the Ukrainian Defense Forces. He exposed the Russian armed forces based in occupied Toretsk, which promptly received a fly-in. The story was released on June the 26th. In it, the propagandist showed Russian occupiers located in Toretsk. The other day we visited the outskirts of Toretsk. We went there from Gorlovka. In Gorlovka, by the way, it is also very uneasy because of Ukrainian drones. The guys told us about different things in their service, showed us what they could. Such visits are better than any reports and media because you see reality. Talk to real guys on the front lines, Walk and Talk wrote. The video attracted the interest of not only Z-patriots but also the Ukrainian Defense Forces. The fact is that the blogger was filming the footage right at an active military facility. And this was enough for Ukrainian soldiers to respond quickly. The Ukrainian Armed Forces carefully studied the video, established the coordinates and carried out a precise strike using the HIMARS system. The result is a completely destroyed Russian military base. A video has already appeared online, which was filmed by a Russian military man at the site of the destroyed base. It just smashed everything. I was here. It hit me this morning. The guys were here, there. The shockwave knocked everything out. He complained. The building where the military was stationed was completely destroyed. Only debris and craters remained. The losses of the Russian armed forces are being clarified. Ukrainian defenders have long and effectively used open sources or OSINT to identify enemy infrastructure. Thanks to such incidents, the Ukrainian armed forces not only carry out pinpoint strikes, but also reduce the enemy's ability to fortify itself in the combat zone. Recall Z-War correspondents are furious about the devastating strike by the Ukrainian Armed Forces on the command post of the 155th Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces. The entire command of the 155th Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces was eliminated during an attack by the Ukrainian Defense Forces on an enemy command post in Koronevo, Kursk region. Z-War correspondent Yevgeny Golman reported on the occupiers' losses on social networks, expressing outrage that the Russian authorities are hushing up the fact that the command of the aforementioned brigade was liquidated. For some reason, no one is telling us that the entire leadership of the 155th Brigade died because 4 HIMARS missiles flew right on target, he said. In addition, the propagandist was infuriated by the ineffectiveness of Russian drones. These Dobrynya drones that don't fly need to be rebuilt. This Sibiryachok flies on its own for 14 minutes. Who can it lift? It can't lift itself, said the Z-War correspondent, and complained about the lies pouring out of Russian TV. It should be noted that as a result of the attack on the Russian command post in Koronevo, in particular, Deputy Commander of the Russian Navy, Major General Mikhail Gudkov, was eliminated. Previously, he commanded the 155th Separate Guards Marine Brigade of the Pacific Fleet and is known for giving orders to his subordinates to publish videos of war crimes on the internet, including the execution of Ukrainian prisoners of war. The Russian military has deployed armored trains, a relic of past wars, to bolster logistics and support operations in the contested Donbas region of Ukraine, where intense fighting against Ukrainian forces and their Western allies continues. Recently, Russian state media released images of the armored train Yenisei, showcasing its role in a combat coordination exercise under the command of Battle Group Center. Alongside the resupplying of frontline forces, the train has also been used for reconnaissance operations and to support the repair of railway lines. Trains like the Yenisei also retain limited defensive combat capabilities and integrate Zu-23-2 anti-aircraft guns and multiple heavy machine gun mounts. Although the Donbas regions, claimed by both Ukraine and Russia, were integrated into the Ukrainian state before 2014, the railway lines were fully integrated with those in Russia when they were constructed in the Soviet era, allowing for relatively seamless resupply operations. The Russian army has attributed considerable importance to the sustainment and defense of railway lines to supply frontline forces, contrasting to the norms seen in Western militaries where resupply is predominantly done by sea, road, airdrop, and using rotary wing aircraft. Ukraine has not overlooked that fact and has made considerable efforts over the last 3.5 years of war to do its best to interdict Russian logistic lines, including simple arson attacks on trackside electric junction boxes, cyber attacks on railway control networks, full-blown sabotage attacks on major routes, and drone strikes on military trains. The Yenisei train looks like something straight out of a World War II movie. There are reports that this is just one of several protected trains being used by Russia to protect its ever more vulnerable logistic routes, as Ukraine's special forces and partisan groups focus on this key target. Cutting a rail line, even for a short period, has the potential to disrupt Russia's ability to fight, particularly as Ukraine's long-range drones increasingly strike its forward ammunition and logistic storage sites. Armored trains like the Yenisei may one day become a feature of modern warfare, along with drones, electronic warfare, missiles, mines, and dragon's teeth. The Yenisei, one of Russia's modern armored trains, is a formidable platform designed for multiple roles in high-threat environments. According to Russian state media, the train is equipped with a Zu-232 twin-barreled 23mm anti-aircraft gun, capable of firing up to 2,000 rounds per minute at aerial targets like drones or low-flying aircraft. The Zu-232, a Soviet-era design, is lightweight and versatile, often mounted on vehicles or fixed positions, but its integration onto a rail car enhances mobility. The train also carries multiple Utios 12.7mm heavy machine guns, which provide defense against ground threats, including infantry or light vehicles. In a striking adaptation, the Yenisei features a BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicle mounted on a flatbed car, complete with a 30mm autocannon and anti-tank missile launchers, adding significant firepower for direct engagements.